episode 8. Have you ever wondered how emotional self-care factor into your success in your life and in your business? Welcome. I'm Denise Belishle, and I'm here with Irina Strunina. And I'm really happy to be here today and do this live for you. And you're welcome. Also, place your comment in the chat while you're listening to us, because we can read your comment. Would love to hear your feedback and know what you have to say about our show today. And go to minklifemotivation.com/live to see more. We are on all social media. And meet the co-host is Irina Strunina. Why are you passionate about helping people with self-care using your zone of genius?
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Denise, for introducing me. I'm Irina Strunina, and I just before this podcast, I asked my friends, what is my zone of genius? Because I feel that I am sort of genius in every way, but this is actually what they helped me with. It is what I consider myself my zone of genius, helping others to help themselves. Well, it's geared up about their self-care, about the health, but I believe that people have to understand themselves. I believe that people have to be able to breathe and stay more or less balanced, and this is their emotions. They have to be able to control their emotions. And when that is achieved, they can actually start making some moves, some changes in their health condition that will bring results. Because while you're in panicking mode, while you are not stable, you're doing this and this and that, and as a result, get nothing. So yes, it's very important in self-care. And I think this is my zone of genius.
Thank you, Irina. Yeah, that's fabulous. Is really for people to, when they are in a fight or flight mode, you can't really function in that. And that's me as my zone of genius. And I'm a serenity expert. And what I do is actually I support people in creating force field in front of them, so that when there's negative event coming their way, it kind of bounce back on away from them. They're not being affected by what they do and by the things that are surrounding them. And it's a choice, because you can always choose not to react to situation in front of you. Of course, we have a go-to. We go to there. That's our defense mechanism. But that can be changed. You can learn to actually change the way you act and react to situation, and eliminate your stress level, bring it down, and then you can start taking care of yourself, healing your body, whichever is necessary for you. Sometimes that can be also like if we have too much weight, and when we get bombarded by negative emotion, we eat, right? Emotional eating. And when you're in serene mode and you're handle your emotion, then you say, hey, I don't need that piece of cake right now, and I don't want to eat it. And then slowly you start to make different changes. So health and emotion are completely related, and I think it's really important to take care of that. Take care of the emotion we're experiencing. So today's focus: why is spirituality important for professional to thrive in your life and business?
Spirituality. This is a question that not very often being discussed, really, especially between professional people. But I think when we talk about spirituality, it's not necessarily going to somebody who reads the palm or reads the cards. It's also about the way how you hold yourself emotionally, including that part. Somebody with the high spirit, with the spirit that is uplifted, is looking at the world, at the situation that is happening around them with the optimism, with the from the positive standpoint. And I believe this is the spirit that I would like to refer to when I'm talking about spirituality. We always can create for ourselves in our heads the worst case scenario, but if somebody has this habit, they are not going anywhere. To get the success, this is much more helpful to create the positive outlook and look for the positive parts that are happening around you. That's, I think, why it is important.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really good because I feel that spirituality, for me, the way I see that, I don't consider myself religious, but I consider myself spiritual. And the way I live my spirituality is being connected with what's around me, being connected to the energy of the universe, being connected to myself. And in order to overcome stressful situation, I found that it's a way to recenter myself, to take a step back. It could be just closing my eyes, taking a few deep breaths, and really allowing me to calm myself and forget about everything that's going on and just give myself some self-care, give myself some attention so that I can have a better focus, so I can pay better attention to the things that I'm needed for or the things that I'm doing. And I think that will help in my business and into my life and in all areas. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's the purpose of coping. Absolutely agree with Monica Anderson. Thank you so much. Now we're there for our next question. Ooh, stay inspired. How has not taking care of your emotion been a problem for you in the past, and how did you overcome it? Irina.
Ooh. Something that I don't very much enjoy talking about or didn't help me. Um, but I will anyways. The situations in life, we all have different ups and downs, and when we go through those situations in life, when we allow ourselves to go deep into those sad and negative emotions, it's really, really, really hard to dig yourself out of there, because this is the law of motion. The body in motion keeps keeps being in motion. So when you are sad, you're just finding everything around yourself that is supporting this sadness. And I the situations when I had been, it's you I would allow myself to feel not capable, not able. And the only thing that I would see around myself, the proofs that yes, you cannot do it. You are a loser. You are not helping. You are not getting where you're supposed to be. And it's really hell it takes an effort from me to get myself out of this condition and start talking to myself. It was for me several months of listening to positive affirmations until I started actually looking with the more optimistic view to life and everything that I'm doing. So I would not pinpoint because I really was careful about not letting myself to go that deep. But I do remember those moments in my life, those periods of my life when I will start feeling very down, very not happy, let's say. And I started working on my mindset, and that helped me. Plus, I have great people around me. So this and people helps me to eliminate the hitting the very bottom of whatever you can put yourself into.
Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's having support around you, having a tribe that you can go to in moment of difficult moment makes a huge difference about, being able to take care of yourself. So for myself, I love the example that I learned from positive intelligence, which I got certified a year ago. And what he says is like when you have a negative emotion, imagine that there's a hot plate on the stove, right? Something hot, and then you touch it, right? So the negative emotion is like you notice that it's hot. So you, in hindsight, with your hand in the hot plate, you don't stay there, right? And the negative emotion is about the same. You go and you touch the hot plate, and you shouldn't, like, in my opinion, we should not stay in that negative emotion for more than a minute or a minute and a half. Like something upsetting happen, and yeah, okay, yeah, it's upsetting. You can like scream and cry, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. But after a while, it's like keeping your hand on the hot plate. And so when I used to do that in the past, I would stay in that negative emotion. And then of course I would get burned. You know, when you say I get burned, I feel bad, I got burned, my emotion went out of rack. It's the same idea. And the longer you stay in, I stayed in those negative emotion, the longer it took me to get out of it. And one situation was, hope they're not listening, was in my family. And then I had like a negative feeling about a situation that happened in my family. And I got upset for, I don't know, probably a year and a half. I wouldn't want to talk to my sibling. I didn't want to have anything to do with them. I would talk to my mom, ask her about my sibling, but no way. I was not going to pick up the phone and talk to them. I was going to Montreal. I was not going to see them. I was just, no, I don't want to go. But eventually I realized that I was hurting myself more than I was hurting them. They didn't care. They didn't even know. They didn't pay attention. But the day that I made the decision to change the scenario in my mind, to remove my hand off the hot plate and to start healing, the next time I went to visit my family, I went with a clear mind. I went with open arm. I went with a welcoming heart. And I had left that situation in the past because I couldn't change it. I couldn't really change what happened, but all I could do is just forgive and move on. And at that time I was telling myself, they probably didn't mean it the way it came out, and I took it in a way that was me, my baggage, that made it that I carried that on my back for so long. And for them it was just a comment, and it went away, it came in and came out, and that's it. So when you find yourself in situation where you have resentment and angry about the past and things like that, really question yourself of who's getting hurt the most within that situation. Are you getting hurt the most? It's like taking a poison pill and hoping the other one will get sick. In reality, we often do that. So a good way to do that is just to let go, just to, forgive and forget and move on, because the past can't be changed, what have been said, what have been done, but you can choose how you're going to move on and move forward, and what have you learned from that. So these are all things that I found are very useful in order to change, overcoming, stressful situation from the past, and just let it go and stop taking those poison pill constantly by thinking back of that situation. So that's my way of thinking about that.
Yes, actually, I just wanted to bring one more example that I really love. I like this Les Brown. I don't know how many people listen to him, the speaker, motivational speaker. But once he said this phrase, it's hard to see the picture when you are in the frame. If you are consumed by your negative emotions, but by bad things that are happening to you, you really don't see like the whole picture. And
Mm-hmm.
you are just somewhere in the corner or maybe in the middle of it, but you are still inside the frame. So it's
Yeah.
always helpful to take a breath, step outside and look at the situation from the, distance, from the bigger perspective. And it's something that helps me periodically. Like, what can I, as you said, what can I do at the moment? It's already happened. Nothing I can change. So I
Mm-hmm.
just need to look at the lessons that we can learn,
Yeah.
heal as much as I can at the moment, and move on and do better next time.
Yeah, exactly. We always learn from these negative emotion, this negative situation, but you have to want to learn. There's a gift in everything. It could be either the gift of learning, right? You've learned something. You've learned that you don't want to associate yourself with this person, or you've learned that no, you cannot drive, on the sidewalk and, not expect to hit anything. You can learn a bunch of stuff depending on the situation. Or it's actually a gift. Like I've heard so many people years later say, when that thing happened 4 or 5 years ago, it was horrible, but you know what? It was the best thing that ever happened to me. So when we keep an open mind that this happened for a reason and I'm going to move forward and I'm going to go in forward. I'm not going to go and ruminate and become the angry, divorced woman, and be angry for the rest of her life. And every relationship she's questioning. And it's like, is he going to be a bastard like my last one, and let it go, let it go. It's behind you, right? Just move on, be happy today. We've met those people, right?
I did.
Wow, keep networking. So, who should you ask for help when you are trying to create a healthy emotional balance? Who should you ask for help when you're trying to create a healthy emotional balance?
Well, I always trying to do two things. One is I'm going for a walk. I'm going for a walk to just ventilate my brain and my lungs. But also, I am thinking about people who I trust, who are more or less stable at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
People who are working on what they need to do no matter what. Because all of us have the negative things happening around us. All of us
Mm-hmm.
have some falls, and it for me, it works always to communicate, to speak with people who, despite of any problems, they are staying positive, they are working towards what they want to get, and just talking to them, just communicating with them, it's contagious. I'm contracting this bug of being positive, and that's how I am resolving this when I am experiencing this. And actually, being in incubator is for me like the magic potion, because we always have someone who will pick you up and carry you through the challenge that you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I totally love what you said about reaching out, and also be careful that I've noticed sometime if we don't feel well, let's say we're at that level, we don't feel well and our energy level is there. If we reach out to people that are there or below, they're going to emphasize on the negative. They're going to keep dragging you down and down and down and down, and then you'll have like your story that was there will end up being like so dramatic and so bad and so negative. So it's be really careful of who you reach out to really elevate yourself. You want to reach out to people that are actually elevating yourself and to a new positive level. Because if you keep associating with people that are nagging and negative and always upset and never see the beauty in the world, and then you'll stay there. So always look to associate yourself, with someone higher. And I noticed that. I remember I was in college the year that my father died, and I was feeling really down. I was, really upset, and nothing was going wrong with the school and all. And I look at the people, and then I failed all my course that season except one, that semesters. And then I look at who I was hanging out with. I was hanging out with someone that was like always complaining, negative, always, like dragging me even further down than I was, and nothing worked in my life. So when I went back after the holiday season and started my semester again, then I stopped associating myself with her because she was just toxic to me, right? It was my choice because I chose to hang out with her, but she didn't help me whatsoever. So I searched for other type of people that would support me, that would elevate me. And then I started hanging out with, a bunch of very positive and energetic and fun people. And all of a sudden, everything goes better. My grades are better. My mood is better. So that made me heal, as opposed to made me sicker in my emotions. So it's really, really important. I remember that this time so fresh in my mind, and I learned a severe lesson then, like if I associate myself with negative people, they're just going to drag me down. So, and it's important also, if people reach to you and they're down, not to go down to their level. Stay at your level and bring them up, because you don't want to be
Yeah.
dragged down. And if they're too negative or too far down for you, bring somebody else along. Two people can help that person go up, right? Like there's tribe. That's what we're important. And you mentioned the incubator where we hang out on Zoom, and there's a lot of positive, energetic people there. So it's good when we go, if we have a little down, we know a couple of people will end up laughing and bring our spirit up and have fun and share an insight. And I think it's really important to have that tribe and to have these people you can reach out to, and not feel intimidated to be able to share what you feel and how you feel. So thank you, Irina, for your answer. And please reach out to people that are a little bit happier than you when you're sad, and let them bring you up. That's for sure. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I liked Monica's comment too about our community.
Yes, it's a good buddy system to bring each other up. Gang cheering session. Absolutely. That's really cool. Thanks. Next question. Yes, gain knowledge. What is the one tip to calibrating your life by focusing on spiritual self care?
Huh. Um, I thought I just answered it. Well, you see, as I mentioned in the very beginning, my zone of genius is helping people to elevate their self-care from the health standpoint, right? So I believe and I know, and I am using other people's knowledge and experience, that when we staying active, when we do something good for our body, our bodies produce this hormone dopamine, the happiness hormone. So if you are feeling down, go for a walk, for a bike ride, turn on the music and dance a little bit. Force yourself to do that. And this way, your mood will change. You will calm down. You'll be able to look at the picture from outside of the frame, and that will help you to elevate your spirit and move forward in a positive direction. That's my tip. Move, keep moving.
Wonderful. Thank you, Irina. And what is the one tip to calibrate your life by focusing on your spiritual self care? I think just being aware of where you're at in your life. And self-care is about self-compassion. And just, love yourself, hug yourself, tell yourself, yeah, I'm going to a really hard time right now. And you can say shitty time right now. And this too shall pass. But right now it's hard, and give yourself time. As Irina said, go for a walk, hug a tree, ground yourself with the earth, ground yourself with nature. Nature is healing. Nature is comforting. And if you have a pet, sit down and pet your pet, or go for a walk with your dog if you have a dog, and just observe nature and how things are, and be kind to yourself. Give yourself some space to be alone if you need to, and just have a coffee or read a book or have a glass of wine if that's what helps you. And just by taking care of yourself, regrounding yourself with what around you. Maybe it's God. Maybe you need to ground yourself and pray to God, whatever that is for you. But take the time, take a few minutes whenever you feel emotionally imbalanced to calibrate yourself, and just say, okay, whatever that is, thank you, universe, for the creation that you've made. Be grateful. Bringing gratefulness in your life will enhance your life by the tenfold or the hundredfold. And always look for something to be grateful for. If you feel that life is so shitty and your life is miserable, well, then stop and ask yourself, what am I grateful for right now? What is it in my life that is wonderful? And at time, I know at time I've said to myself, I don't know. But then when you really start think about it, go to the basic. I can hear, I can see, I can walk, I can write, I can, like, go to the basic. I love the sunshine, I love the rain. Go to the most basic that everybody has. And then once you build that muscle of being grateful, then you can expand into, I'm grateful for what I've learned today by listening to this podcast. I'm grateful for, Monica for creating this show. I'm grateful for Rena for a great answer. And you can go even further, right? But gratefulness will help you recenter yourself, to be calibrated, to be more spiritual and in touch with yourself. And don't forget self-care. Self-care is the most important thing. You go first, and then you can help others. Because if you don't put your oxygen mask on, everybody else will suffer because you'll be like, oh, I can't breathe. So take care of yourself first. So thank you.
This is not a one.
Announcement. Da, 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 da. So, Irina, do you have any announcement?
Well, I definitely have an announcement today. It's actually today is podcast alert. We
Yay!
are launching today the new podcast. It's called Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360 right here. Right
The other
here.
one.
Yes, we are going to have once a week a podcast where people can listen to experts when they are sharing their points of view about life with diabetes, how it's different ways of managing this disease, different ways of helping yourself or others who you care for. And we also will have special guests, people who actually living this life and how it is from their perspective. How do
Mhm.
they feel, manage what challenges they face, what how they overcome and how they cope with the different situations. So it's going to be interesting conversation. And I'm today we recorded the pilot quick short introduction, and next week we will go the full program at 4 p.m. Eastern time. It will be on Facebook, Diabetes 101 for Beginners. It will be on Facebook in Smart Move 360 and various other platforms that we will be talking about in the all the time.
Wonderful. That's amazing. That's pretty amazing. I'm super excited for you, Irina, and that's gonna brings so much help to people that have diabetes, and sometimes they just don't know what to do. And I think by listening to your podcast, they will get a lot of help. That's for sure. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you for saying it because this is the intention.
Yes, I think that's going to reach your goal. And for me, I would like to invite you. I have a breakthrough system that I just created, and I invite you to book a call with me. What the breakthrough system is we have the 7 area in our lives. It could be for professional, it could be spiritual, it could be personal, it could be with your relationship, any area of your life you would like to work on. And what we'll do is we'll go through the going from the big, what's your ultimate goal? What do you want to achieve in life? And how are you going to slowly bring back and know what you have to do right now, today, in order to achieve that? So I invite you to book a session with me, and I can walk you through from the large goal to the tiny thing you need to do every day in order to reach that goal. And I've tested out on, a handful of people, and everybody's just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that this is happening in my life, that I know now my path. So I invite you to book that with me.
Excellent. I think I need to book it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I really invite you to do that.
All right.
Oh, I think somebody's trying to call me. There you go.
What's happening? There we go. Sound is important. Listen on the go. We are here in all platforms where you can actually listen on your podcast or on all the podcast rooms. If you want to be on the show, you can do that as well, like the last slide said. And if you want to join us for another awesome conversation, you can come back here next week on Wednesday, where you're going to join the joy igniter herself, Yo Elam, to calibrate your life. That's next Wednesday, right here on the show. And if you are a dynamic speaker and you want to not only be on the show, but you want to take your voice to a larger platform, this is for you.
See you next